Hello, everybody. I feel disappointed. I was anime reflux. I was expecting badness. It wasn't bad. It was
It's just kind of I don't know. Nothing really happened, but it wasn't bad. Nothing.
It was okay.
It was a lot of setup. It was a lot of character development, establishing characters.
yeah. I mean that and very laid back approach to war. I mean, in fairness, it's the 100 Years' War. It was a century of fucking war. So there were parts where it was absolutely kind of just yeah, we're gonna go to a field and fucking kick about for a bit, I guess. See how that goes.
Just gotta
But
kind of swing at each other until someone's mostly dead and then leave.
yeah, but still, it was the summaries were a lot more portentous than what we got.
Hmm.
So the anime that we watched was Junketsu no Maria, or Maria's Purity, if you want a translation. Um,
Maria the Virgin Witch.
yeah, sure. Um, I'm not sure which title is more accurate because no one actually seemed to care about the whole virginity thing that the whole summary and everything was talking about.
Yeah, that
Um,
was a little strange. I'll admit. I figured that would be a bigger deal, but
I
I don't know if
feel like that's a major plot point that is going to happen starting episode 2.
probably. I don't even
you,
know if the other witches were virgins. So I don't think you have to be a virgin to use magic.
I think they're using a very strict definition of virgin, which is P in the V,
Ah, gotcha.
or a broken hymen, if you prefer. Goodbye monetization, if we could get monetization. Yeah, so yeah, it's a thing that is this show. Yeah, there's not that much to actually talk about. It does establish that that Joan of Arc stuff already happened. Like this is
Hmm.
after that
And it was
Yes.
bullshit.
because I think it was Maria goes on this big speech about how that whole thing happened and Joan got burned at the stake and the I think who the fuck Bishop of Winchester, Cardinal of Winchester, something like that. Uh, put the fingers in to check whether she was a virgin and stuff, and that was a thing. Middle Ages were kind of gross. Um, this is uh, this show is considerably less gross than the subject matter would imply.
Yeah. No, I was really surprised at that. I expected more creepy.
Maria is a witch, and I like in the beginning when she's putting on the act of being like the old, like, witch in the woods,
Yeah,
and
a
she's like,
crone.
"Oh, well, I'll help your father through the war, and we'll watch over your father, but I must have you know." And then her succubus familiar comes in and basically just wrecks the mood.
Mm.
Yeah, it just tears off the disguise.
And it's and the little girl's like, "See, Maria's so cute," and she's just leaving, and like Maria's just like, "I, they have to respect me."
Yeah, and then the succubus implies talk of blowjobs, and Maria is very confused and spends most of the episode contemplating how blowjobs work.
How, she
Or
said her
just
jaw hurts. Why is her jaw hurt? Why would her jaw hurt?
Yeah, that comes up multiple times. Yeah.
It's actually pretty funny.
Hmm.
it is amusing, yeah. It's kind of a light-hearted poke at lewdness, I suppose.
Yeah. I'll say blowjobs. In fairness, it could have been cunnilingus. Who knows?
I mean,
Oh,
fair. Yeah.
good monetization.
It's a person in the
though.
military, though.
It's just running away now.
Yeah. At a sprint, it's actually kind of impressive.
Yeah. You wouldn't think like a little green circle with a dollar sign on it could just move, but it's like a fucking flaming
We've
wheel
never
just rolling
monetized
away.
anything. It's fine. We can do whatever we want.
We did used to, like ages and ages ago, and we got like a total
Yeah,
of,
true.
I
For
think,
like a brief period.
about
then we just went to
$20
Patreon.
total that it made over the course of a year or so.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
You can't actually withdraw it until it makes, I think, 60. So we effectively earn nothing.
We made YouTube $20 then.
Good job. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, so that whole thing happens, and the little girl's dad is going to war, and she's like, can you look over her? And she's like, yeah, okay. I can do that. And then there is a messenger dude who shows up to say something. I forget what. But he's going
Yeah.
to war too because he was chosen and things.
I forget what his original message was. He told her something.
He's like, oh, well, I'm going off to war. And apparently she knows him or something a little
Oh.
bit.
I tell you what it was. It was that he is the normal messenger who usually comes to deliver news from like the court and such. But in this case, he was just showing up to say, hey, I'm going to go to war, so you might get a new messenger or something.
So he introduces himself, and his name is Joseph. Get it? We have Mary, and now we have Joseph.
I didn't get it until just now, but thank you.
Yeah.
That's been stuck in my head, even though I watched this a few days ago. I'm just like,
That's pretty on the nose, I'll admit.
I feel like Joseph isn't that French of a name. That's... but I don't know. Maybe that is a French name.
But
Maybe it's one of those multicultural names that we stole from a very specific culture. Anyway,
well, it's treated as a quote unquote Christian name because of the relevance, I guess. So any country that has Christianity would have some equivalent to that name,
probably.
I suppose.
I would have just assumed it wouldn't be directly Joseph. Like, Mary is Maria here, for example.
Yeah, I mean...
Then again, Mary is often called Maria and such. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Mexican/Spanish equivalent is Jose. So yeah, I would agree. Every culture kind of has their own if they're Christian.
Yeah, I'm just basically talking out of my ass. I don't know anything about this stuff. So that happens, and she gives him her favor, essentially, by letting him kiss her hand. Okay. And then he goes off to war, and he hangs out with these mercenary guys for a little bit, and that one girl's dad, who is pissing himself the entire time, which, going to war, kind of understand it.
I'm actually a little confused why he was so exhausted. I mean, yes, certainly marching in full armor is exhausting, but the dude's a lifelong farmer. He should probably have a little more stamina than that.
It felt like they were trying very, very hard to make him look very weak because he just constantly gets protected. That's the only reason why he actually survives. He doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything. It's just him standing there looking at people about to kill him, and then someone steps in to let him not die.
Which is about fair for a farmer in war.
I mean, kind of. I mean, there's a lot of very simple things that they just straight up tell you to do as a foot soldier in a war, and that is hold the spear, point it forwards, and then jab it if someone comes close to you. That is literally the top and bottom of instructions in war. It's not the best training in the world, but it's more than this guy is doing.
True. He did pretty much cower the entire time.
Yeah. So that was a thing. And Joseph saves the mercenary guy from an arrow at one point, which is cool. And then a cavalry charge from the English happens, and everyone's freaking the fuck out, including the mercenaries, because that's a bad thing to happen to foot soldiers, is to be run down by a cavalry charge.
Of fully armored people too. Like you
Mhm.
can't just put your spear in the way and they'll go. They won't attack you. It's yeah.
Well, actually, horses do tend to just balk when they're confronted by a very solid spear line, but uh, that requires very, very well trained and determined soldiery that these aren't. The key to breaking a cavalry charge with spearmen is to stand there and not let the charge happen, because the horses will just balk and not run directly into a spear line. Not many armies drilled well enough to do that.
That's fair.
But when they're like routing, because holy shit, cavalry charge, Maria comes down and is like, "Hey, fucking stop the fighting!" and flame line, yeah. And she
With
gives
a
her whole
dragon.
speech. Yeah, and a dragon. She makes a dragon out of a pot. It's kind of cool looking how it comes out of the pot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I really like that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Although based on the dialogue of the characters, it's pretty strongly implied this is not the first time she's done this. She just shows up.
yeah, there is basically a peanut gallery of other witches that
Yeah, they're
are.
just kind of hanging out in a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're implied
Like,
to be
wait-
other witches that support some of the soldiers in the battle.
You have the witch from England who's just like, I don't really care as long as I get paid. Just whoever wins, it's fine.
Yeah, not really made clear what they're actually doing. Presumably, if something in particular happens, they would step in, maybe, or they're just moral support, effectively. Who knows? It will
Maybe
probably
they
be
did,
explained in
like-
future episodes.
I don't know. Maybe they did like preparatory spells before the battle, and they're just watching and seeing how it works.
Yeah, maybe. But they're watching Maria do her thing and are like, oh god, this shit again. Yeah. So Maria basically stops the battle on its tracks, forces the cavalry to retreat, and the mercenaries are pissed at this because, god damn it, we were going to get so much money even though about 20 seconds ago we were pissing ourselves expecting to die. So kind of setting up some hypocrisy going on here. Fair enough. That's about the end of the episode, if memory serves.
The episode ends with the succubus teasing her about her virginity. She's like, I don't care about my virginity. I'll give that away to anything. I'll even give it away to a dog or a beast. And like, then there's a big light from heaven, and it's just like Maria, and then the episode ends. Which is why I'm thinking that the whole virginity thing is going to come into play next episode.
Most likely. Or she's just going to be targeted by something.
Because like outside of like if that plot point didn't come in already, like this is a pretty decent show. I like the animation. I like the art style. Like I said, like Casey said, the way the dragon is summoned with it coming out of that huge pod and the way it just squashes and stretches, that's really, really interesting and fun to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I just, as far as the first episode goes, sure. I'm not certain about the rest of the direction of the show.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of places where it could. Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm trying to search for the anime list, but gonna have to pin that. Actually, I'm gonna do that. If I can pin that to the channel, so I can always find it. That is the smart thing to do, Casey. There you go. Pinned message. Yeah. Okay. So it was fine. I don't know whether it will continue to be fine in future episodes. I wish there was more to complain about because I don't know. I can't find especially much to praise except for the animation is quite nice. And that's about it.
Yeah, not enough happened really, so I don't really have an opinion, either negatively or positively, for the most part.
It almost feels like wartime slice of life.
I'm a bit worried that the comedy is going to hinge around making fun of the fact that she's a virgin. That's going to get very tired very fast.
I'm having Valkyrie Drive flashbacks now. Cool. That's a comparison you want to be made about your show. Oh boy. Anyone got anything else to say about this show we were so very, very worried about?
It's not a bad start, honestly. This might be interesting later, or it might get super creep later. I don't know.
Let's roll a new one.
Yeah.
Let's roll a new one.
It looks very pretty, so there is that. I mean, the animation style is very good. So visually, at least, it is a decent way to spend 20 minutes or so. Especially if you're looking for inspiration for magic spells in stories.
Mm-hmm. I rolled an 18.
18, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 is S.
Oh boy. I wonder what we'll get this time.
$212. There's a lot of S's. That was a lot of scrolling.
Yeah, of course. We have 108.
Oh, portentous.
You really like that word right now. Portentous.
I mean, that's the number for Eastern cultures. 108. Buddhism and such.
Oh, gotcha.
Just waiting for the thing to load so I can find the show. Just waiting for the thing to start loading. Anytime now. Let's open a new tab and see if we can load it again. There we go. Got it. Fucking Christ. If we were a more professional show, we probably would have cut this out.
But that's okay.
There it is. Got it. Fucking Christ. Alright. So, this is the show that we're doing. Is a boom. Shokaku no Altair. Or Altair.
Oh, Assassin's Creed.
It's not Assassin's Creed. It's Assassin's Creed adjacent, maybe. Tuhril Mahmut is a young pasha serving in the Divan of the statocracy. The clouds of war are gathering over his country due to the threat of an aggressive empire. With the Divan split between warmongers and the pacifists, Mahmud begins his quest to keep the peace at any cost. As he finds himself deeper and deeper in the politics of the ancient world, new enemies and allies surface. Who will prevail? What will Mahmud do if war proves to be inevitable? Kind of sounds like, I don't know, maybe somewhere Ottoman Empire kind of thing? Who knows?
Seems like it, yeah.
Comments say it reminds them of Kingdom, which is promising. That is a good story. Someone bitching about ecchi for a show that isn't ecchi. That's all the useful information about the show that I'm looking for information on is a bunch of people whining about a thing that isn't in the show. Okay, it is about the Ottoman Empire. Alright, cool.
I am down for a history anime that I've never heard of before.
Yeah, sure. It is very rare for Japan to do stuff with the Middle East.
I mean, doing any history that isn't their own is pretty rare.
Well, they do a few historical things, like certain ones they really like, but the Middle East is one they very much don't like because a lot of it tends to revolve around Islam, and Japan's approach to Islam is essentially no. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do this.
Sure. Not like we have a choice, so that's fine. Episode length, I mean, I doubt this is going to be like a 2-minute thing, like, oh, the fucking Ottomans did some stuff, and then the credits, but, you know, worth checking.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone could do that, that'd be good.
Let me, what's up, and just double check everything. Episode length is good.
Cool.
And this is Shokoku no Altair.
Yep.
Altair. Or Altair, A Record of Battles.
Yes.
Yeah, this 2017 had 24 episodes.
Oh, so it's very recent as well then.
Yeah. Came from a manga.
Yep.
Yeah, and reasonably well received.
Well, that's good.
So, yeah, let's do this.
Cool. Alright, so that's what we're doing next week. I hope it's good. It sounds intriguing. So, yeah. Okay, so bye everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.